David Robinson from Polygon.com, and we just had a chance to play Crackdown 3 at Microsoft's sort of E3 preview session, where we got to try out a few of the games that we saw at the press conference yesterday. And I mean, I'm interested to talk about Crackdown 3 with you because I think we're a bit of a split opinion about it.
I would say we're probably both lukewarm-ish, and then there's shades of gray in between.
Yes.
It's interesting because coming out of their press conference yesterday, that was the game out of all those games that was the biggest question mark for me, because it's been like a trillion years since Crackdown 2 and even longer since the good
Crackdown game.
So I was like, I don't know, I was curious to see how it would feel, and it feels largely like Crackdown. Am I crazy? It feels like Crackdown 1.
It feels more like Crackdown 1 than Crackdown 2, definitely.
Yeah.
A few things, like what I saw in the press conference, I didn't like. I don't think it looks good. And also, like when the game was announced, we had all this stuff about like, oh, cloud computing, everything's destructible, and we compute that shit up in like some sort of space satellite. What we played today was really fun. We had like a 10-minute sort of vertical slice where we're like, oh, go into the city and do whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently all of the like destructibility that they showed off at first is only in the multiplayer of the game, which is bizarre, and it wasn't what we played.
That doesn't sound like things went according to plan. When you hear, oh yeah, the thing we announced, that's only in multiplayer.
That's only in
now?
part of the game.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that like made Crackdown is in the game. So like if you go and you punch a person, you get strength points that make you stronger. There's agility orbs everywhere, which like I saw that in the video that they showed during the press conference, and I got all excited, and I thought about it, and was like, it's been 100 years since Crackdown came out. There's other games that do this same thing.
Infamous, just collectibles and open world games have come a long way.
There's collectibles all over that you pick up to get stronger, so it's not like novel anymore, so I don't necessarily know that that's
a big hook. Yeah, but I will say, despite myself, when I would grab an agility orb and see a beam of light off in the distance for the next one, I would go for it.
Absolutely.
So to me, the big question is like, does jumping from building to building feel satisfying? And like, there's still a double jump. You can click the left stick to do kind of an air dash.
Yeah, the air dash is pretty cool. You can chain that together with like, you know, jump in the air, double jump off of a building, air dash forward, and then shoot somebody as you fall to the ground. Like
that stuff felt good.
It was really easy to step into it. Like we only got 10 minutes to play it, but I felt like pretty much instantly I was like picking up cars and throwing them at dudes and throwing 10 grenades at another guy, and like it was very hectic, and like I enjoyed what I played. I definitely came off playing it much more positive about the game than I did when I just saw it. Because I think if you just look at the game,
it's kind of ugly.
It looks like an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the like all the destructibility stuff, so like it just kind of looks like an Xbox 360 action game. But just playing it, like, it's pretty fun to play.
I kind of feel the same way. I think like the mechanical stuff there feels good. The weaving together, like jumping in the air and then targeting someone. It's also got this like sort of, they call it sub-targeting, where you can target, like, this is a Crackdown thing, but like you can target an enemy's head by flicking the right stick up, or an arm to shoot the gun out of their hands, or their legs to disarm them. And all that stuff felt good. It just looked bad.
It just looked really bad.
It's also like, I think games like Hulk Ultimate Destruction and Prototype have spoiled me for how I move up the side of a building in a locomotion open world game. Because in those games you can just run like straight up the side of a building, which feels great. And in this, it kind of reverts back to that early 2000s, jump onto the side of a building.
Windowsill to AC to
hang on a
windowsill,
jump up and on a windowsill. And like, when the game's moving fast and you have your momentum and you're air dashing and shooting down on people, it all feels great. When you hit
have to go
wall,
upwards, it's a bummer.
It feels bad. So
one thing even though this was like a pretty short amount of time that we had to play it, I think all of the advancement and leveling up stuff was like boosted to go like really fast.
Yeah, they explicitly told me they accelerated that.
But I really still like it. It's one of the core tenets of Crackdown is like how you play the game, you get better at that thing. So like I really like throwing a bunch of grenades at people and just like having that be what I do, and getting explosion levels that give me like bigger, badder explosions. And it's sort of it's not like fine-tuning like an RPG exactly, but I like trying to constantly make the decision of like, how do I want to kill this guy? Well, I'd love to level up my explosions, so
that's a great system where it kind of feeds into itself. Or like strength, for example, being able to pick things up and throw them, so you can pick up bigger things and throw them. I also like that you can pick up enemies and throw them at other enemies. I don't know if you did any of that, but that was in there. It just felt, obviously it's early, obviously it's not done. It's been in development for what feels like a long time. There are things about it that were a little janky. Like getting in a car and driving it
felt weird,
felt bad.
So like, for me the biggest like sticking point is this was a game that they showed off during their press conference yesterday as part of their big push for, hey, you gotta get the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, I think it'll be fun. I'll play it, and I think I'll have a good time playing it. Still kind of feels like an Xbox 360.
It looks like one, and it didn't run ultra smooth either, honestly.
Not really,
so
no.
it's, I mean, obviously it's like still a work in progress, but yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see, and maybe the multiplayer is extremely compelling in some way that we haven't seen.
Yeah, sure.
I said maybe. Like,
maybe. I mean, we can blow up buildings now, which it seems like a pretty big difference, but
yeah. I want to see what that stuff is like. But yeah, that's Crackdown 3, I guess.
Yeah, so we will have more coverage of more games that we played here at E3 2017 here on our YouTube channel. Stick around, we got a lot of stuff yet to come because the show hasn't even started yet.
God, you're right.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
No, you can't. We got to go to PlayStation.
We have to go to PlayStation. We have to go to PlayStation.
We have to. Poor us, right?